One of my favorite things about the Elektron analog rhythm is its excellent support for samples. The way that the audio engine works is you can take your synthesized drum sounds and it combines them with your samples, which allows you to have kind of the best of both worlds. Unfortunately, on the Mark I at least, the process of adding samples to the machine isn't exactly straightforward. Yes, it does have USB, but the process actually goes through MIDI. And as I'm a Linux audio user, the supported software from Elektron for Windows and Mac, it doesn't really work for me. So in this video, I'm going to show kind of my workaround for all this. And I think the process actually isn't that inconvenient. So let's get started. We start off by putting everything into a single directory, and then on that directory I wrote a Python script that processes all the samples using ffmpeg normalize. This has the effect of putting everything at roughly the same volume. With libsnd file, I converted all of my wave samples into MIDI sample dump standard files. This is the type of data that the Elektron rhythm is expecting. I then set up the analog rhythm itself to accept sample dumps. First, I navigated to the global settings and went to the sample directory. Then, I created a new folder for these samples. This is optional, but it helps to keep things organized. I modified the folder settings so that new samples will show up here. Now it was time to go back to the computer. I linked all the code I used in the repository in the description. The first step is to find the address for the Rhythm MIDI hardware. Then, compile the send SDS program and run it in the command line using the expected inputs. Here, the hardware value for the rhythm, the channel and sample number, and the location of the sample you want to send. If everything worked successfully, you should now see the sample transferring onto the screen of the rhythm. There will be times when the transfer is incomplete or doesn't work. Usually this can be fixed by just trying it again. Once the samples have completed transferring, you can then load them into your set and use them in your beats. Here I show an example of loading two samples onto the cowbell and clap sample slots. Enable sample playback for the track and then select the sample slot you wish to play. I had two main takeaways from this process. The first is that hardware following specifications and standards is a very good thing. Because the Elektron rhythm is class compliant with MIDI USB, I can easily connect it to my Linux computer. And because it follows the MIDI sample dump standard, I can use this slightly idiosyncratic method of transferring samples rather than having to use Windows or Mac and the C6 program from Elektron. Second, even though this was a hack method that took no more than a day to put together, I definitely learned a lot more about what was going on under the hood and in the internals from working with this process myself. I hope this video has been helpful or insightful for you, and I look forward to employing these methods on my drum machine in the future.